Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle, and you're listening to Numbers Don't Lie, where you learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Guys, we are still listening to the episode of Breaking the Glass Ceiling Secrets from a Tech Trailblazer. Miss Martha gave us so much last time that I could not cut it short. So she was telling us about her framework, about how women can enter that tech space and not just be there, not just be a presence, not just be a warm body in the room, but actually climb that leadership ladder and become a part of the C suite. She told about her experience opening, being over companies all over the world, not just a national leader, but an international leader over some reputable companies you've heard of. And because she is living Black history, living women's history, some of these companies do not even exist anymore. They've been bought out or something like that. So I want you guys to lean in if you are an aspiring leader, if you want to enter the tech space, the data space, or maybe you're just in an industry where you're the only one in the room and you're having a hard time navigating. I want you to turn this up and listen in. We're going to pick up right where we left off with Miss Martha Davidson.
First, we'll start with the recap, then we'll dive into this week's episode.
So, I am Martha Davidson, the founder of Empowering Minds Now. And I have been in the tech space for over 30 years. When I started in the tech space, there were not any real computer colleges or any computer courses. You had to go through the engineering. That's how you got into computer science, was through engineering. I did an internship I was at Howard, so downtown Washington, D.C. I worked for an insurance company. And he literally took care of me through my rest of my 3 years at Howard.
Wow.
And he also felt that why not hire her after graduation? So I was one of the few people that actually had a job after graduation when I graduated. And so as a result of that, he said, "Oh, you graduate from college, you can be a head of a department." I'm like, I just graduated from college. So
Wow.
my first managerial role was supervising tea punchers who were not happy that this kid was supervising them. And then he really wanted to help the underserved. So instead of hiring an organization to come in and build his overall rebranding his technology environment, he took people within the company. So
Nice.
that's how I got into IT. I was a database analyst. He felt that was a good fit for me. So they brought in specialists and they taught us how to do all the things you needed to do for a database. So I stayed there probably about 7 years. I wanted to make sure I was loyal as long as I could. And then I decided that it was time for me to move on. When I moved on, I went to a major data supplier for the Army. And I think I was there exactly 3 months. As a result of that, I looked for the competitor that took the contract that they no longer had. And I
Okay.
started working EDS, Ross Perot. And I worked there and I ended up in his organization and started working for AT&T as part of his organization as a consultant. So as a result of that, that's really what kicked off my actual career in technology. I had a couple of pit stops in between, but at AT&T, I was able to do various roles in technology and ran the disaster recovery organization for a bit. I had a team that we did software analysis, system analysis, and then I was there, like I said, for 16 years, and I ended up being one of the first individuals that was part of a cybersecurity team. And cybersecurity, AT&T was really an organization that was progressive and probably one of the first organizations that had a governance component of cybersecurity. What I did have that they could never take away from me is I was the root cause analysis person. You had a problem, I had a solution. And
Nice.
that's what held me to everywhere I went after that, because you have to rely on your inner strengths to determine what are you good at. How can you show up? How can you make that influence? How can you make sure that your decision making is on point? And it's all being tap into who you are and who you want to be. All those doors will open up for you. And why is that important? Because, like I said, I've been in there a long time. And you look at statistics, African American women, they have a desire based on some studies by McKinsey that we always want to over deliver and we always want to be sweet.
Yeah,
well,
we want to like prove our worth. So we got to do the most.
And because of that, because that's basically a lot has to do with culture, you know, go to college, good job, girl, and with some good benefits, and you be good for life, right? And so we stay places we shouldn't stay. But what also we do is we aren't aware how we show up. And so being in that 4% today, I'm talking 2022, African American women in the technology space is 4% that ever make it to the C-suite. I always figure out, how do I reappraise my situation to make it the best for me so that I can shine whatever I'm given, you know? And sometimes it's not easy. It was not easy. And it's never going to be easy, but you can't lose your self-worth and you can't lose your self-motivation.
That's good.
The other thing is, how do I unmask or unveil unconscious biases? Statistics are showing just, I believe it, I don't want to quote the person about the organization, I believe it was McKinsey. And most women especially women of color, say that 80% of the time they have experienced gender biasness. And that is crazy in 2022.
I mean,
right? So
I don't know, Ms. Martha, because if we look at just the climate, I mean, it doesn't make sense when you think about how history should go. But if you just look at what people are saying on social media, what people are saying in the political setting, it's just like, I'm not surprised.
Right. And the problem is, you have these organizations, well, we're committed to DEI. You committed to DEI, but why is it that we're not moving?
Right.
Why is it that we're still at 4 to 5%? Right? So all of those things require us to take, note of that. All that is for us to understand and peel back the biases that you experience, and don't let that biases control you. And what also matters is, women, how many roles do we have? How many things do we have to do to even get to 9 to 5 job? I used to have to get up at 6, fuss with these 2 boys of mine, take them all the way on the other side of the city, and then travel 20, 30 miles. Ooh. All those things play into your role and how you show up. Yeah. So I also talk about peak performance and lifestyle balance with your work. So those things are key. And what I try to do, and what my mission and goal is, to empower 100,000 women to be able to shine and to be able to use their brilliance so that they're recognized as incomparable, because we are. The statistics show we are. Statistics show that 59% of us want to be in the C-suite. We are the ones that do all the work, but we're not getting position.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio,
my station,
the Brownstone Center, and don't forget, no matter where you go, there we are.
Hey Brownstone community, we want to help you say Happy Father's Day with a wonderful quarter-page Father's Day dedication in Brownstone Living Magazine. Let your dad, grandpa, brother, uncle, cousin, or husband know how much you appreciate them with this dedication in our June 2023 issue. This is an amazing keepsake, something they can share with family and friends all year. Scan the QR code or visit bit.ly/MB_BW Father's Day to get started today.
Miss Martha, I did want to ask you a question because you touched on it. Because one of the last things you said about um, companies ran by women do like outperform other ones. And it's even been tons of evidence, tons of data, tons of statistics support diversity, that more diverse companies have higher performance. So, in your opinion, since we know that to be true, like it's not like you know what I'm saying? It's not like we made it up. And we're gonna have to wrap it up after this. Like, why do we still see so many companies that seem to push back on including women in the C-suite or just having diverse candidates even apply? You know what I mean? Like, what's the issue?
Well, the issue is twofold. One is accountability by organizations that hire managers that don't need to be managers, right? So the other component of that is you hire what you see, what you reflect. Mirror concept is what we're seeing. So if you have a corporation that has 80% men in leadership, more than likely you're going to have 70% of them hiring people who look like them.
See,
that's why that number is not moving. So
like,
the
y'all like money?
responsibility.
Ain't y'all in business to make money? Like, what y'all doing? I'm
sorry. So that's my other mission is to go into corporations. I'm looking at starting a actual group leadership coaching program for corporations.
Okay.
Corporations are totally missing it. Why? I actually just was in London on Monday speaking about this, about social intelligence and engaging. And the problem is it's not about DEI. It's about the people that you hire. What are they doing to create the motivation? What are they doing to create the collaboration? What are they doing to take people and make them feel comfortable and worthy? All that is missing in corporate America. And until there's a revolution around the managers that are in charge of making the decisions for leadership, we're just going to keep going down this path.
Yeah.
So I'm committed to being an advocate, have an opportunity to be on a global stage with this because I am a Google ambassador, Women in Tech. And as a result of that, I have a doorway or entryway to talk to women all over the globe.
Wow.
This is not a U.S. problem. This is a problem, especially when you go to countries where women are still considered second-class citizens. And we have these little sessions at the end of every one of our meetups. And this young lady was explaining to me, that's such a good thing because my boss, and she was from India, she's like, my boss just belittled me. And at that body, 3 or 4 weeks in, nobody was speaking to me.
Oh my goodness.
And what we do know is that's contagious. That energy is contagious. So it happens, right? Just like somebody tell you something, and the next time you see that person, you try to align whatever they told you about that person.
Yeah,
right?
Figure it out for
That's the way
yourself.
that's the way the brain works. So the goal for me is to make sure that I make some noise in the corporate organizations that have the money, and it's not the DEI, it's the presidents of these organizations to bring to their attention. You have no accountability. I mean, a lot of us in corporate America, we take these different training. They ask you 2-3 questions about biases. They ask you a little bit about, how it matters and how you're being treated, but they don't do anything about it, or even with the stats, high or low. So my goal is to be in a space that I can bring that attention to people and show them that social engagement is a necessity, because social engagement, if you are belittling somebody or you're not recognizing it and they view that as rejection, we know that the brain considers that physical pain.
Wow. I learned something. I didn't realize that.
Yes. The brain doesn't know the difference. So my goal is is to transform the social gain for us in America as a whole to one where we are all equal, not to equity, but equal in how we see each other and how we treat each other.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to Numbers Don't Lie on KCCR The Brownstone. Make sure you follow us on brownstoneworldwide.com, where you can check out the marketplace and Brownstone Living Magazine. We want you to subscribe to be a part of the Brownstone family because we want you to feel like you're at home with us. Make sure you follow us also on Facebook at brownstoneworldwide.com. You can even find us on YouTube. And you can listen to all these wonderful episodes. You can play back Numbers Don't Lie as much as you want because you definitely want to play back this one. And you can follow me, Dr. Michele, on Instagram and Facebook at Mogul Beginnings. That's MOGUL, Mogul Beginnings. And you can also find me on my own website, mogulbeginnings.com, where I will show you what I do. I'm the Chief Data Scientist of Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting, where I help startups and nonprofits increase their revenue and save time. Those are two things that we want more of, right? We want to save more time and we want to increase our revenue. So if you are one of those organizations, make sure you connect with someone like me. I'm talking to tech leaders on this podcast. I'm talking to nonprofit leaders. So if that's you and you want to be a part of the show, make sure you send us an email. You can reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can send me an email at info@mogulbeginnings.com. Ms. Martha, I have learned so much about you, that you used to party too much in school, and all the way how you got all the way here to ushering women to own their power, to understand their purpose in that tech space. I mean, leading teams, and I mean, you literally are women's history, you're Black history. I don't think I knew all that. Like, I don't think I was ready for all that you actually were. So those of you that are, and I don't even think it's just in the tech space. Those are there that are
No,
aspiring to be leaders, aspiring that you want to get in the C-suite. Like she said, 59% of women want to be in the C-suite. Like if that's you, I hope you were able to learn something new, and even share this with other people that have that same desire. So if you're listening on KCCR, the Brownstone, the app, make sure you head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com to find out if you need to see it in writing. Like, oh, I didn't catch what she said. You're gonna have to listen to it back again. And check the description box, because it means a lot of times you hear stuff one time is not enough. And you hear it the second time, you're like, oh, I didn't even realize she said that. Because you just gave us a framework, didn't you? You like
yeah,
just straight up
I
educated us.
rise up. Yeah, I gave you rise up, and that is I have a community, a Facebook community that you can also look at. It's a Rise Up and Women in STEM Rise Up. And I'll give you that actual Facebook community, how it shows up. I'll give you that link also. But
What's the name of the Facebook
yeah,
group?
it's called Women in STEM Rise Up.
Oh, I didn't realize you had said it already. Women in STEM Rise Up. Cool. And so who can connect with that? Is it just anyone interested in STEM, or?
Is anyone interested in growing their value, learning how to manage your resources mentally, physically, and nutritionally, manage. I want it to be like a membership group, like a mentorship group, all of that, because we have to do this as a community. We can't do this single-handedly because most of us don't make it, right? That's shown in statistics, 4%.
Yeah.
But yet
It's huge
59%.
discrepancy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
love how you just sprinkle them stats in there though. That's my thing.
yeah, it's important because you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to someone today, and we literally saw the blatant things that are made in front of us, like we don't comprehend or we're not smart enough, but yet we just finished a major project. And you go and do things that are in alignment with valuing my contribution. And so how do we manage that? We don't want to be in a closet by ourselves trying to manage that, because that just increases the stress. So my goal with this community is to bring it to us. Let us work with you. And console you with whatever you need because you're brilliant and because you owe it to yourself, to your family, your relationships to stay as whole as possible, no matter what.
I love that. Oh, Ms. Martha, I so appreciate you joining us here on Numbers Don't Lie, because you said a
Yeah.
couple times and it just fell right into the whole purpose of the podcast, as well as the title, about the desire and what's actually reality. So like the numbers don't lie. So those of you that are heads of corporations, of companies, or in leadership positions, like it really does take your voice and your action. It can't come from the people that below. Like it can't always be us. Like we want a promotion, we want a raise, we want more influence. Like it can't always be that, because it now looks like we're protesting, or you wonder why people want to unionize. Like it shouldn't have to go there. If from the
Right.
top down you show that the equity or diversity actually does matter. You want different people sitting in the boardroom to help make these decisions. I mean, even if that doesn't align with your personal beliefs, the data shows that your company will perform better with it. So that's the part that I just be like, aren't y'all, ain't this a capitalistic society? Like, I don't get
Correct. Data does, and data shows it, and yet we're not seeing the difference.
Yeah.
So what's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong? So that's what we want to do, is begin to raise our voices and let people know that it's not always us, but it's how you interpret and see our value. It's so important for us not to do this alone. Because when I was doing this, I was doing it alone.
Yeah.
Or people were like, why are you always in this situation? I took risks. And risk is always consequences.
And a
If it
lot of
doesn't
women
work.
don't take risks. Like it kind of goes back to what you said earlier about us not even applying for the job. We don't take the risk of getting a rejection. Like
Right.
we're just naturally risk averse people. And that's something that my
Right.
dad, he would say a lot. And I don't think I realized how important it is. He was like, you have to take risks. Men naturally take risks. You have to learn how to take more risks. And that's something he would want his granddaughter. He was like, you need to take more risks. And just make that like a part of her lifestyle, as opposed to like, just being so naturally risk averse. Like get comfortable being uncomfortable sometimes. So I think that's a message that I don't think we can say enough, because it's our nature to be that way. And in order for change to happen, you have to take a risk.
Yes, you do. You do.
That's good. Okay. Any last thoughts before we let the people go?
No, just value yourself and know that you are incomparable, no matter what you experience, because you are brilliant.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. It has been a fantastic road. I mean, I've learned so much from Ms. Martha, and I know you did too, about women learning to take risks and putting ourselves out there. A lot of times we're not even giving ourselves a chance to hear the no. We're like so risk averse that we don't even get a chance to be rejected. So if you learn nothing else from this podcast, women, I want you to take more risk, put yourself out there a little more, because you never know when you'll actually get that yes. Make sure you follow us on brownstoneworldwide.com and Brownstone Worldwide on Facebook. And you can follow me, Dr. Michele, on Mogul Beginnings. That's on Facebook and Instagram. And you can connect with Ms. Martha at Mpowering Minds Now. That's M, the letter M, empoweringmindsnow.com. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next time. Now, I need you to be real with me. You've been following all the gurus and saying, they tell you to do the marketing, the Facebook ads, or this, to that. Has that worked out for you? Do you know if it's even working? A lot of times y'all doing the most, but you don't even know if it's working. Keep trying something new, but you really aren't even monitoring if the old is even working. But let me tell you this, I got a live demo, and I want you to be there. It's not your average webinar. I need you to be there, a B square, okay? You're gonna walk away with actual strategy, be able to implement in your business immediately. You're gonna know what to do next. Go ahead and register. powerofyourdata.com/demo. That's powerofyourdata.com/demo. And I'm gonna see you there.
Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting helps nonprofits and small businesses strategize, optimize, and scale by unleashing the power of their data. So if you're ready for your data to be unleashed to help your business tell beautiful stories, connect today by logging on to mogulbeginnings.com. That's mogulbeginnings.com.